This is Mrs. Knopf, and today we are going to continue in our method book with line 45, Ode to Joy. So we're going to go through and see what all we have. At the beginning, we always have our treble clef for the flute. Then we have our key signature. We have two flats. We have a B flat on the third line. That tells us all B's are flat. Then we have an E flat on the fourth space, and that tells us that all E's are flat. And the key signature of two flats tells us we are in the key of B flat. Then we have a time signature. We are in 4/4 time. We have 4 beats in every measure. And then the bottom number tells us the value of the whole note if we had one. So let's break that down. If we had a whole note of 4 beats, half of a whole is a half, and half of 4 is 2. So the half notes get 2 beats. And then half of a half is a quarter, half of 2 is 1. So the quarter notes get 1 beat. We do have a couple of sets of eighth notes, so half of a quarter is an eighth, and half of 1 is half. So it takes 2 eighth notes to equal a single beat. So here we are, or 2 eighth notes will equal 1 quarter. So we've got 2 eighth notes here and 2 eighth notes here. So now we're going to start out with line 1. We start with all quarter notes, and we're just moving up and down on our scale pattern. So we start on a D. So thumb, this key here, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We have 2 D's, add the pinky for E flat, switch out your fingers, so put this index finger down and lift these 2 fingers for the F, play 2 F's, and then come back down to E flat, D, switch everything out for C, so C is just index finger and pinky on the foot joint, add your thumb and other index finger for 2 B flats, back to C, D, and then we have a half note D, half note C. Now I've got a double bar line, which tells me I'm finishing up one section of music and going into a second section. Notice on line 2, I have this funky percent sign. This is a sign. So we'll come back to this in just a moment. If you notice, line 2 is almost identical to line 1, except our half notes are different. We end with a C and a B flat. Now, at the end of line 2, we have the word fine, which means the end. We're done. And we have a final bar line, but clearly we're not done yet because there's a third line of music. So let's check that out. So now we have 2 quarter note C's, up to a D, down to a B flat, C again, D, E flat, D, then B flat, then C, D, E flat, D, down to a C, and then B flat, C, skip up to an F on a half note, and now we have another double bar line and DS al fine. That DS is an abbreviation for del segno, which is a really fancy term for the sign. So we are going to go back, after we play that third line, go back to the sign at the beginning of line 2 and play all the way to the end of line 2 where it says fine. Now we're done. And there's the final bar line. So let's try this. I would love for you to play along with me. All right. So my metronome is going at 100 beats per minute. Start each note with a t sound and try to play each line in a single breath. And that way it'll help with your phrasing. But here we go. So when we play, we're going to play lines 1, 2, 3, and 2. 1, 2. Here we go. And that's it for line 45, Ode to Joy. Sometimes you can't always make it to the end of the line and do those 4 measure phrases, but you do your very best with it. If you have trouble with any of it, then definitely take those parts that give you trouble and slow them down and work them out before trying to put them back together. But I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you next time.